Hello friends, welcome to my second video on basic mathematics. In this video, I will be explaining you the method of intervals, or which is also called the wavy curve method. My name is Yogeshwar Singh and let's start. First of all, let's see why do we need this method, or what are the uses of this method. This method is used to predict the sign of a given function or expression which is expressed as product of two functions or two or more functions or factors, as the value of the variable varies from plus infinity to minus infinity. Here I have taken example of only two functions, but this can be extended to any number of functions. Here we say that if hx is positive, then fx and gx, which multiply to give the result hx, they both must be either positive or both negative. Because hx is product of these two functions, then to have hx value positive, these two functions must attain a positive value or both must attain a negative value. If hx is to be negative, then fx and gx must be of opposite sign. That is, if fx is positive, then gx must be negative, and if gx is positive, then fx must be negative. Now let's try to understand this by a simple example. Let's consider a function f of x which is given as x minus 2 into x minus 5. Here x minus 2, this factor will be positive, that is x minus 2 will be greater than or equal to 0 if x is greater than or equal to 2. Let's consider this as relation number 1. And the second factor x minus 5 will be positive if x is greater than or equal to 5. You must be knowing the basic rules of inequalities, that we can add or subtract by same number on both sides of the inequality. We can multiply or divide by same positive number on both sides of the inequality. But when we are trying to multiply or divide by a negative number in an inequality, we have to change the sign of inequality. Now let's observe when this function fx will be positive, negative, positive. Okay, so what we do to observe this, we draw the number line first. We mark the point where this function first factor is changing its sign, means if x is greater than 2 it will be positive, if it is less than 2 it is negative. So we mark this 2 and we observe that beyond 2, if the x is greater than 2, this factor is positive, x minus 2, and below 2, that is if x is less than 2 it is negative, and for x is equal to, it will be equal to 0. Now let's see the inequality 2. X minus 5 is greater than or equal to 0. This changes its sign at 5, means if x is greater than 5 then it is positive, if x is less than 5 then it's negative. So we have divided the number line into three parts. First part is less than 2, second part is between 2 to 5, and third part is greater than 5, that is 5 to infinity. So if the function fx sign we need to find, then we start from plus infinity. As we are reducing the value of x from plus infinity, these two factors both are positive till what? Till 5. Till 5 both the factors are positive, hence the product will be positive, means fx will be positive for x belonging to 5 to infinity. Now when x crosses this number 5, the second function, the inequality 2, that is x minus 5, changes its sign. It becomes negative. So between 2 to 5, x minus 2 is positive, x minus 5 is negative. So the product will be negative because one factor is positive and one factor is negative. Now as the x reduces, it will cross 2, and below 2 we observe that both the inequalities x minus 2 and x minus 5, they both are negative. So Two negative numbers multiplied to will give you a positive result. So we can say that fx will be positive for minus infinity to 2, then 2 to 5 it will be negative, and 5 to infinity it will be again positive. Now let's discuss the steps involved in generalized method of intervals. For this I have taken an example of function which is given as x square minus 3x plus 2 multiplied by 1 minus x whole divided by x minus 3 whole square. And let's see, we have to find the value of this function is when this function is positive or equal to 0, that is f of x is greater than or equal to 0, or this entire product is greater than or equal to 0. We'll see step by step that how to proceed to predict this sign of this function f(x) when x varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. The first step involved is in this method is we have to make the RHS 0. Suppose here we are given that f of x is greater than or equal to 0, we have to find. But suppose here if number is given, that is fx is greater than 1 or x or anything could be given, it could be a function or a constant number, then you have to first make this RHS 0, you transfer the entire quantity on the LHS, solve and get a function over here to make this RHS 0. Then the second step involved is you have to factorize all the factors involved as much as possible. For example, here 1 minus x is a linear function, x minus 3 is also a linear function, but this is a quadratic function. So we observe that we can factorize this further. So we factorize this as x minus 2 into x minus 1. I have explained this factorization in my lecture where I have explained the quadratic equations. You can refer to that. X square minus 3x plus 2, this could be written as x minus 2 into x minus 1. This is 1 minus x and this is in the denominator x minus 3 whole square. So we have factorized everything given in this question and we have to find the values of x for which this function will be greater than or equal to 0. The next step involved is you have to make the coefficient of the variable of all factors positive. Means whatever factors are involved in this function, you have to make the coefficient of variable positive. So what we see in the previous step that this factor has 1 minus x, that is x is negative over here. So what we do, we make it positive by taking minus 1 common. When we take minus 1 common, it becomes x minus 1 and 2x minus 1 multiplied will give you a squared. So the function becomes x minus 2 into x minus 1 whole square divided by x minus 3 whole squared with a negative sign. Now this negative sign we have to adjust first. What we do, we multiply this entire inequality by a negative sign, and as we all know that if we multiply an inequality by a negative sign, the sign of inequality is reversed. So we have reversed the sign of inequality. Now we have to find that x minus 2 into x minus 1 whole squared divided by x minus 3 whole squared is less than or equal to 0. The values of x which make this function less than or equal to 0 will be our answer. So after solving this, we get this function. Let's call this function gx. We are changing the name of the function because we will be calculating now gx is less than or equal to 0, where we were supposed to calculate f of x is greater than or equal to 0. But understand that by solving this inequality f of x is greater than or equal to 0, we reached at gx is less than or equal to 0. Means whatever values of x which satisfy this inequality will be our answer, that is those values of x will make f of x greater than or equal to 0. Don't confuse with this that we were supposed to calculate fx positive and now we are calculating fx negative. This is the same function, but we have made certain manipulations. So now we will be calculating the sign of this function, and we will note down the negative ones, and for those values of x for which this gx is negative, the fx will be greater than or equal to 0. The next step involved is you have to find the values of x for which all these factors become 0. You have to equate each factor present in the expression to 0 and calculate the value of x, the values of x which make this each factor 0. This is important because the point where x minus 2 becomes 0 will be the point where it will change its sign. If we put x greater than 2, this will be a positive number. If we put x less than 2, this will be a negative number. So what we do, we equate each factor to 0 and calculate the value of x, so that we get the value of x for which the particular factor becomes 0. So here we have three factors involved. So equating each of them equal to 0, we get x is equal to 2, x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 3. Now what we do, we plot all these numbers on number line in increasing order. The second step is, first you plot all these numbers or the values where these factors are becoming 0 in the increasing order on the number line. The next step is you check the value of function for that factor and mark above that value. So I mean that for x is equal to 1, if I put x is equal to 1 in this expression, this factor will become 0 and these two will be minus 1 and minus 2. So the entire result is what? 0. So the value of expression for x is equal to 1 is 0. Similarly for 2, this factor becomes 0, the value of the expression is 0. But for 3, if you put x is equal to 3 in this expression, x minus 3 will be 0, and we know that we cannot divide by 0. Any number divided by 0 will give you an undefined number. So for 1 the function's value is 0, for 2 function's value is 0, for 3 it is undefined. We are doing this because if inequality is there, then we have to decide whether this value is to be included or excluded. If the function is undefined, we cannot include that value. In step 7, what we do, we check the exponent of each factors involved, whether they are even or odd, and mark that power only even or odd above that factor. For example, x minus 2, this becomes 0 at x is equal to 2 and it has exponent 1. So we mark over here odd. X minus 1 whole square, this becomes 0 at 1, power is 2, so it is even. X minus 3 whole squared, it becomes 0 at 3 and the power is 2, that is even. We are doing this because if the power is odd and the function changes its sign, then if it is positive, odd power raised will give you a positive result, but if it is negative, odd power raised will give you a negative result. But this is not the case when it is a power is even, for example 2 or 4 or 6. Then whether this number is positive or negative, after raising it to a even power, for example square over here, it will become positive. So it doesn't matter whether the quantity inside the bracket is positive or negative, the result will always be positive. So this factor is always positive. So this factor will not be changing its sign and hence it will not play a role in the sign of fx. Now what we do, we will decide the sign of this inequality. What we do, we first mark a positive sign towards the largest number. Mark positive sign beyond the largest number and then you start marking positive, negative alternately depending on the power involved. For example, we start with positive. When you cross 3, at 3 the function will be either 0 or undefined. You touch the axis, and then if the power of that factor is even, you keep the same sign, don't change the sign. If the power is odd, you change the sign. Means you decrease, you change the sign. Here the power is even, we will not change the sign, we will keep it positive. Here the power is odd, so we will change the sign to negative. Here the power is even, we will keep the sign negative. I will repeat once again. We start with positive. If the power is even, we keep the sign positive, we will keep the sign positive. If the power is odd, we will change the sign to negative. If the power is even, we will keep the sign negative. Means if the power is even, you keep the previous sign to the next factor. But if the power is odd, you change the sign when you are crossing that factor. Change the sign when the power is odd, retain the sign when the power is even while you are crossing that factor. So now let's see our answer which we are going to predict from this method of intervals or wavy curve method. Let me tell you one more thing, that this method is called, method of intervals is also called wavy curve method, and this is because of the fact that this curve which we are making for predicting the sign is like a wave, so we call it a wavy curve method. Okay, positive negative, it behaves like a wave, so we call it wavy curve method. So now let's analyze. In the previous slide only I told you that we are predicting the sign of gx is less than or equal to 0, but we need the answer for fx greater than or equal to 0. But this function is same as this function, we proved it in previous slides. So we'll write the answer for gx less than or equal to 0, but it will be for fx greater than or equal to 0, because gx is nothing but fx multiplied with a minus sign, so inequality sign is changing. So let's say gx is less than or equal to 0. Remember one thing, when you are writing the intervals and using the brackets, you always write the interval first. Then you decide whether the end points are to be included or to be excluded. And one more thing, minus infinity or plus infinity is never included in your answer, as these numbers are not achievable. Now let's see, gx is less than or equal to 0. We first write down the interval. So first interval when we start from minus infinity is minus infinity to 1. It is the first interval when we are getting a negative sign for gx. And then the second interval is 1 to 2. So minus infinity to 1 first interval, 1 to 2 second interval. Now let's see whether the end points are to be included or not. So we know minus infinity is never to be included, so we put an open bracket over here. This 1, since the value of the function at 1 is 0 and we need gx is less than or equal to 0, since because of the equality we have to take all those values also where the function is 0. So for 1 the function is becoming 0, so we will have to include 1. Now let's move on to the second interval, 1 to 2. Here also we will put a closed bracket over 1, because 1 is to be included, it is giving the value of function as 0, which is acceptable for this inequality. 2 also, it is giving the value of the function as 0, so it will be included in our answer. So finally we are getting x belongs to open interval minus infinity to 1, closed interval union, closed interval 1 to 2, closed interval. Here we observe that 1 is included and this is the common point. So instead of writing it as two intervals, there is nothing wrong in this answer, but still we will say that minus infinity to 2 there is no number excluded. So we will combine these two brackets and write x belongs to open interval minus infinity to closed interval 2. This is the answer for gx less than or equal to 0, or rather our function fx positive. This is the answer. Now let's analyze the function further. What if we were asked only less than 0? Rather, fx greater than 0 is the only thing which is asked in the question, not the equality. So what we do, we will write the interval minus infinity to 1, then 1 to 2. Now always don't put close bracket at infinity or minus infinity, we'll put a open bracket at minus infinity. Then we'll come to the interval next endpoint, that is the upper limit 1, and we see that the value of function is becoming 0 at this point. So since we need strictly less than 0, we cannot include 1 because it is making the value of function 0. So 1 is to be excluded, put a open bracket over here. Then the next interval 1 to 2, again same thing, it is making the function 0, so we will not be including these two points in our answer. So the answer for gx less than 0 or fx greater than 0, minus infinity to 1 union 1 to 2. Gx greater than 0, we will now be requiring the positive sign. So we will go for the positive sign. We see 2 to 3, 3 to infinity. The intervals are 2 to 3 and 3 to infinity, where the sign of gx is positive. So x belongs to 2 to 3 union 3 to infinity. Now let's see whether to include the end points or not. At 2, the value of function is 0. Here we need strictly greater than 0. We cannot accept equal to 0. So we put an open bracket at 2. 3, once again, even if the function was 0, we could not include it because of the strict inequality. But the problem is that here the function is undefined. So whether it is equality or inequality, we have to exclude this point. So open interval 3 to open interval infinity. This will be, in this interval the function will be strictly negative. Now let's see the last part. If we are asked gx is greater than or equal to 0 or fx is less than or equal to 0. So now we have to write the interval where gx is positive. So 2 to 3, then 3 to infinity. This is the interval. Now here you see at 2 the value of function is 0, and here we have been given an equality, so we will say that 2 will be included in our answer because we are accepting 0 as answer. So x belongs to closed interval 2 to 3. Now let's see 3. If we put a 3 in the function, this makes the denominator 0, and if the denominator is 0, this value will go to infinity or rather undefined. We don't know the value. So we say that if the denominator is 0, the function is undefined, and hence we cannot include this value in our answer even though 0 is included. Here the function is undefined, so we'll put a open bracket at 3. This cannot be included in our answer. 3 to infinity open bracket. So for gx greater than or equal to 0, x belongs to closed interval 2 to 3 open interval union 3 to infinity, or this is the answer for fx less than or equal to 0. There is one more way to write this. You write the entire interval close bracket 2 to infinity and then subtract the element 3, because only number 3 is excluded from your interval, nothing else. Everything is included except number 3, because now at 3 the function is becoming undefined. Now let's solve some examples. The first example is x square minus 4x plus 5 upon 3 minus x is greater than or equal to 1. Here what you have to do, you have to first factorize, then take the minus sign common and all that. Before that, you have to make this RHS 0. You pause the video, try the question and then see the solution. So let's discuss the solution. What we do, we first transfer this 1 to the LHS, subtract it, make it x square minus 4x plus 5 minus 3 plus x. It becomes x square minus 3x plus 2. Denominator is still 3 minus x, greater than or equal to 0. Now what we'll do, we have first made the RHS 0. Now our next target will be factorizing the expressions. We will factorize this as x minus 2, x minus 1. Now we are left with x minus 2, x minus 1 upon 3 minus x. Next step is to make the coefficient of all the variables involved positive. So here it is 3 minus x, so we will take out 1 minus common from this bracket. So it is minus times x minus 2 times x minus 1 divided by x minus 3. We will adjust this minus sign by multiplying this entire inequality with negative sign, and this will change the sign of inequality. Hence the answer inequality becomes x minus 2 x minus 1 upon x minus 3 less than or equal to 0. We have to solve this inequality for less than or equal to 0. So what we do, we plot the numbers 1, 2, 3, and we see that all the factors x minus 2 x minus 1 x minus 3 have odd powers. So we'll write odd, odd, odd. At 2 function is 0, at 1 function is 0, the numerator is becoming 0, and at 3 function is still undefined. You observe that this is the same expression except the powers which we discussed in our example. So let's write the answer. We need this factor to be less than or equal to 0. You don't need to confuse every time about the sign of inequality that we were asked greater than or equal to 0, we are writing less than or equal to 0. We have written the same function over here by making the suitable adjustments. So it is still the same inequality which was given to you. This inequality is exactly same. You write the answer for this inequality, you will get the answer for your given inequality. So we mark the points 1, 2, 3. We mark the powers odd, odd, odd. We mark the values 0, 0 and undefined. Then we start with positive sign from the extreme right, that is the largest number. We start with positive sign. We come to the factor. The first factor is 3. So when we cross this factor, we observe this power. This power is odd. So what we will do? We will change the sign. From positive, we will go to negative. Then we will reach the next factor. We observe the power as odd, hence we have to change the sign. So it was negative before, so we'll have to make it positive. It goes from minus to plus. Then we come to factor 1, the last factor. The power is odd, so we'll change again the sign from positive to negative. So when we go from minus infinity to 1, the function is negative. 1 to 2 function is positive, 2 to 3 function is negative, 3 to infinity it is positive. So what we do? Let's write down the answer for less than or equal to 0. First we will write the intervals. Intervals are minus infinity to 1 and 2 to 3 where the function is negative. We have written down the intervals minus infinity to 1 and 2 to 3. Now since equality is there, we will see whether we have to include the endpoints or not. Minus infinity or plus infinity, never to be included in your answer. Next is 1. 1 makes this function 0. Here the value of function at 1 is 0, and which is acceptable for this. We have to find the answer for less than or equal to 0. So it is equal to 0 at 1, so this will be included in our answer. We will put a closed bracket at 1. Next interval, union 2 to 3. 2 makes this function 0. We are accepting equal to 0, hence 2 is included in our answer. Next endpoint is 3. 3 makes this function undefined. The denominator will be 0 if we put x is equal to 3. Hence the function is undefined for 3. We have to exclude this point. So we'll put a open bracket over here. So our answer for this example is x belongs to minus infinity to 1 union 2 to 3. Now let's discuss one more example. As I always say, you pause the video, try the question and then see the solution. The question given is x plus 2 x plus 3 into x minus 10 is greater than or equal to 0. So first let's analyze the question. Here the RHS is 0. Our first step, no need to do, we don't need to make the RHS 0 first. Then we have to factorize. It's already factorized, all the terms are linear terms. Then we have to make the variables positive. So here everywhere x plus 2, x plus 3, x minus 10, all the variables are positive. So we don't need to follow the first 3 steps. Now first thing, We'll start straight away with finding the values of zeros. I hope you have solved the question. Let's see the solution. This factor will be 0 for minus 2, this factor will be 0 for minus 3, and this factor will be 0 for 10. One more thing before I proceed. Remember, you don't need to follow each and every step and write the answers for every step. You just follow these steps. Whatever is necessary, you do, you draw, you write, and write the answer. So, x, this factor becomes 0 for minus 2, this factor becomes 0 for minus 3, this factor becomes 0 for 10. So, we will plot these numbers on the number line in increasing order. So, minus 3, minus 2 and 10. Here all the powers are odd, so no need to write the powers. Every time we cross a factor, we have to change the sign. Now, next is there is nothing in the denominator. Every factor is in the numerator itself. So, we will say that this function will never be undefined for any value of x. No need to write down the values at the factors. So, let us start plotting. We will put a positive sign at the extreme right, that is the beyond the greatest number 10. Then we will start, the power is odd, we will change the sign to negative, then we will reach at minus 2. Since the power is odd for x plus 2, we will change the sign, go to positive, then again reach minus 3, power is odd, we will change the sign to negative. Now let us write down the answer. First we will write down the intervals. We need greater than or equal to 0. So for positive we need minus 3 to 2 is the first interval, minus 3 to 2, and then 10 to infinity. This is the interval. Always write down the interval first, then decide whether to include the endpoints or not. Let's see about the endpoints. Minus 3. The function is defined for minus 3. We are accepting equal to 0 because of the equality. So, we will include this in our answer. So, we will put a closed bracket at minus 3. Next is minus 2. Minus 2, making this factor 0. We are accepting 0. We will include minus 2 in our answer. Union 10. 10 is making this factor 0. We have equality 0. Then we will include this in our answer. Infinity is the last endpoint, and I repeat every time when I use this bracket, you have to always put open bracket at the end of minus infinity or plus infinity. We never include minus infinity or plus infinity in our answers. Okay, let's do one more example. This is x square into x plus 2 into x minus 1 whole cube into x square plus 1 is greater than 0. Pause the video, try the question. So, the solution is, before I start discussing the solution, I want to tell you certain things. Here you see certain factors, x square. We know that x square is always positive. So, it is never going to affect the sign of this function. It is a positive number. We can divide it by this positive number on the both sides. Only problem in division and multiplication in inequality is with negative numbers. Similarly, x square plus 1 is also a strictly positive number. It is not going to affect our inequality. So, we can ignore these two factors and then solve the inequality. That is only for minus 2 and plus 1. But even if you do for that, it does not matter. But here you have to ignore this factor, because this factor will never be 0 and we need factors 0 to change the sign or retain the sign. So, what we will do, since this factor is strictly positive, it is not even equal to 0, we will ignore this one. We will consider x square, x plus 2, x minus 1 whole cube greater than 0. This will be strictly positive, so we can divide this by this number on both the sides. We are not dividing by x square because x square can be 0. If x is 0, this will be 0. So, we cannot divide it by this, but minimum value of this function is 1. So, we can divide by a strictly positive number. So, we have divided this x square plus 1 on both sides, and we got x square into x plus 2 into x minus 1 whole cube. Here the powers are varying, so we'll note down the powers first. Let's write down the rules first. This factor will be 0 for x is equal to 1. This factor will be 0 for x is equal to minus 2, and this factor will be 0 for x equal to 0. So, minus 2, 0 and 1. Now, 1 comes from this bracket, it has got odd power, so we'll write down odd. Minus 2 comes from this bracket, has the odd power, we'll write the power as odd. 0 comes from this factor, we'll write the power as even because it is square. Nothing is in denominator, everything is in numerator, so values at 0, minus 2 and 1 will be 0, 0, 0. Now let's write down the answer. We need strictly positive. So positive, the interval is from minus infinity to minus 2, negative, negative, then 1 to infinity. We write down our answer, minus infinity to minus 2, union 1 to infinity. Here, since equality is not there, so we cannot include the points where the value of the function is becoming 0. So what we do, we put an open bracket at minus infinity, 0 is not accepted, so minus 2 is also excluded, put an open bracket, 1 is also excluded, put an open bracket, and plus infinity is always excluded, so remove it. Let's do one more question. X cube minus 6x square plus 11x minus 6 upon x cube plus 6x square plus 11x plus 6 greater than 0. Pause the video, try the question and solve it. So, for solution, you see RHS is already 0. Then the next step is factorizing these two terms. You factorize these two terms. When you factorize, you will get this is nothing but x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3. And this is x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3. Here in total there are 6 factors. 6 factors. So we'll have 6 numbers also. One will be minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 1, 2 and 3. Minus 3 makes 0 this, minus 2 for this, minus 1 for this, 1 for this, 2 for this and 3 for this. We'll plot all these numbers on the number line, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 1, 2 and 3. Now we will put the positive sign at the extreme end, that is beyond the largest number. Start with positive. All the exponents are odd, so we don't need to consider the power because we have to change the sign every time we cross a factor. Here certain things are written in the denominator, so function will be undefined for minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3, but we don't need to consider this because there is no equality, means we don't need zeros for our answer or undefined, so we don't need to consider that. So we'll be only taking the signs of the intervals because equality is not required. So when we cross 3, we'll change the sign from plus to minus, then minus to plus, then plus to minus, then minus to plus, then plus to minus, then minus to plus. This is the sign diagram for this function. We need greater than 0, so the interval is minus infinity to minus 3, first interval, then minus 2 to minus 1, second interval, then 1 to 2, third interval, and 3 to infinity is the fourth interval. So since equality is not there, we don't need to include the factors which make the expression 0 or undefined. Well, put open bracket at each end point of the brackets. So answer is open minus infinity to minus 3, union open minus 2 to minus 1, union open 1 to 2, union open 3 to infinity. Thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel, the YLC, that is your learning curve. Please don't forget, remember, practice makes a man perfect and there is no substitute for hard work. In mathematics, practice is the main thing. Thank you very much.